Hey everybody, this is Mr. Munson, and today we're looking at copying an angle as well as some other basic angle constructions. Let's go ahead and get started. You're going to need to draw on a piece of paper an angle that looks something like this one. I called it angle A. So we're going to copy this angle, and it's quite easy. It's going to look a little bit like copying a segment, which hopefully you've already covered. The first step is find where you want the angle to be. So I'm going to copy that angle, so I need to have a nice work area. I'm just going to start off with the very first step, copy the vertex. I'll call that A prime. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw one of the sides of the angle. I'm 50% done. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here, I'm going to put my compass on A, and I'm going to open up my compass. I don't want it to be too small where it's down in here and it's hard to turn it. Don't want to be way out here because it requires a lot of working area. So, just put it in here where it's nice and right, and just strike your arc so that it goes across smoothly across both rays. Take your compass was on A and move it down here to A prime. Put it underneath the ray and strike that same arc. Plenty of arc now, just to overshoot it. Now the next step is to measure how much of that arc we need in our new copy. So I'm going to put my compass here on the bottom one, and I'm going to measure up here to where it crosses. Now, as I've said before, whenever you make a measurement, you strike a tattletale. So make sure you have that mark in your original. Then come down here, put your compass where it was up here on its copy down here, and strike that same arc. Now you're done. Other than having to draw that other ray, we're just going to go from A through that point. I've copied myself an angle. Okay, why don't you try to do this one? I just drew an obtuse angle down here. Go ahead and draw an obtuse angle, put me on pause, and see if you can do that one. Then come back, check to see if you've done it right. All right, welcome back. So I'm going to copy this angle. So again, I'm just going to find a place to put that angle. I'm going to put it here, so that's B prime. I'm going to draw half my angle. It's real easy. Just going to draw that here. Now remember, these rays don't have to be copied in the same length. It's more the openness of the angle that we're looking at. Okay, so then I'm going to take my compass and put it on the vertex. I'm going to strike an arc. It goes from one ray to the other. Strike it nice and smooth. Sometimes it's helpful to pull your paper along to get it. I go to A prime, strike that same arc. Then measure that angle. Okay, measure how much arc you need. So you're going to put your compass right here. I'm going to measure out to the other side. Strike an arc, a measuring arc, a tattletale. I'm going to take it from this point here and put it on its copied place here. Strike that arc, and I'm going to make sure that I can draw through that point to create another ray, and I've copied my angle. Did you do it right? Hopefully. All right, next up, we're going to look at bisecting an angle. And so the bisecting angle, you're going to need an angle to bisect. So go ahead and draw yourself an angle that looks like that. This is, again, a very simple construction. You're going to have to practice these to keep them in mind, right? Okay, so what you're going to do is, we're not copying it, we're going to bisect it. So you're going to take your compass and put it on the vertex. Open up your compass, strike an arc. Then you're going to take your compass with that same setting, if it works, and you can make it smaller if you need to. You're just going to strike above, go over to the other side, strike the same arc. So you need to get these two arcs, these two arc connections up here. And I got them for put my compass where the arc here crosses this one and this one. Now I'm just going to simply take my straight edge and draw it through that connection, and I've bisected my angle. These two angles are now congruent. Okay, go ahead and draw yourself an obtuse angle that looks like this and see if you can bisect it just like that. Put me on pause and come back and check your work. All right, great. Welcome back. We're going to go ahead and bisect this. Let's see if you did it right. Just simply draw an arc across it. I'm going to take my compass. Now I need to make sure I'm well over halfway, by the way. I'm going to strike an arc there, strike an arc there. And if for some reason the two don't meet, then I might not have my compass opened up wide enough for it to happen. So I'll just open it up, erase the marks, and go ahead and mark it, right? Draw my line. And I have myself a bisected angle. How about this one? Create a 45-degree angle with the vertex at B. So this is what's going to happen. I have this point B that I'm going to be working with, right? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply draw a line. Then I'm going to force a perpendicular on there. We've done that construction before. Then I'm going to bisect this angle. And I'll have myself a 45-degree angle. Let's try it together if you like. I'll do it nice and slow, and you just put me on pause as you need to. So, first thing you're going to do is just draw a line through that point. Now I need a perpendicular to go through that point. So what I'm going to do is first do a construction of a perpendicular through a point on the line. So I'll mark on that side. I'll come over here and mark on that side to get it so that I have a segment that wraps at that point. I'll put a point here and a point here, and I'll just realize now I just need to bisect this longer segment. I'm going to name it S and M. Now I'm just going to take my compass, and I could strike or open it up well over halfway. I could strike above and then below, go over to the other side, strike above and below. But that's more than I need to. Since I already have a point on the line that I'm going to create, I only need one other point. So I'm just going to strike above, come over to the other side, strike above. And now, time to connect those two pieces. Now I have a 90-degree angle. I'm trying to create a 45-degree angle, so what I'm going to do is bisect that angle. All right. Don't worry about the background noise. Let's strike this arc. Now I'm going to bisect that angle. Going to open it up. And don't worry about that background noise. And now I have a 45-degree angle. There's your construction. How about this one? Create a pair of parallel lines. Let's start with a line. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a transversal. It doesn't matter what angle this is at, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this angle and I'm going to copy it to some random point up here. Now what I'm trying to do, if you remember back with parallel lines, if I have a pair of parallel lines cut by a transversal, then I know that corresponding angles are congruent. Now I'm kind of working in reverse now. I have a line and a transversal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an angle up here that matches this one, and it's going to force a line to be parallel to it. Alright, so let's copy this angle up here. Well, to copy an angle, you strike an arc across it. Now what's interesting is this is kind of awkward because the last time I copied an angle, I had a line this way and I was creating this one. So I have to think backwards. I'm going to take this line, I struck this arc, I'm going to go up here to where the other vertex is going to be, I'm going to strike an arc down. Then I'm going to have to measure how much of the arc is from this point, which means I'm going to do that measurement from that point. So put your compass here, adjust your compass to measure that arc, strike your tattletale, then take, since you measured from here down here, you're going to go up here to this copied spot and you're going to strike that line. So the next move, is draw yourself parallel lines. That's it. Nice use of copying angles though. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Let's get some practicing done.